Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm vlogging today to try and keep myself accountable because I need to not nap. And also I'm starting NaNoWriMo today. I just finished filming 2 videos actually. So I ended up going to bed last night just before 3 and got up at like 8:30 this morning. Usually I'll go back to sleep, but I went to the gym and I'm very proud of myself for doing that. And then I basically came back and just tried to pack full my day of doing things so that I wouldn't take a nap. So I filmed 2 videos this morning. My NaNoWriMo announcement, which I need to edit and post. I would like to post it today because it's already July 2nd and I just decided today that I was going to start doing camp. Yeah, we've started reading Graceling. One of my patrons already messaged our Discord and said that it's a really easy read and they're enjoying it already, so I need to get on it. I've read like a couple pages and I wanna dive in. So I think I'm gonna try and edit the video and then I'm gonna try and read a little bit and then I'm gonna crack my second energy drink of the day. Don't judge me, I need to stay awake until tonight. I need to stay awake so that I can go to bed at a decent time, okay? The can says as long as I don't have more than 2 in a day, I should be fine. So I should be fine. So yeah, we need to edit, we need to do some reading, and then we're gonna have an energy drink and get us through the rest of the day. I really like guided meditations, but I don't like it when the person guiding the meditation talks too much, because I find I'm not able to actually like get into a meditative state if the person is talking too much. Depending on the person, I'm very picky with the voices that I have for guided meditations. Maybe when I get better at meditation it won't matter as much, but this guy's voice was fantastic and he paused often enough and like left like 30 seconds to 2 minutes of just like empty space that it was really easy for me to get into a meditative state. So much so, and I think because I'm really tired today, that at the end when it was time to like open my eyes, I almost felt paralyzed. Not in a bad way though, not in like a sleep paralysis way, but more so just in like I literally didn't feel like I was in my body. Yeah, really good meditation. Loved that. I did start to have the rest of my energy drink a couple hours ago. I'm not gonna finish it because I want to go to bed at a decent time. So it's just after 5, it's 5:30. I need to start making dinner. I still need to be up until like at least 10 p.m., probably 11. So I'm gonna have this, it's called Underground Kombucha, and the flavor is rose hips and brewer hops. So there's no alcohol in it besides like the minuscule amount of alcohol that's naturally in kombucha. I'm trying not to drink alcohol right now, but I like the idea. I still like having drinks, you know? Like I like having a beer at the end of the day, or like a glass of wine, or like a fancy cocktail. So I've been trying a lot more of these kinds of drinks and like alcohol-free cocktails and stuff, and they're actually really good and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm gonna have one of these. It does have a tiny bit of black tea in it because that's what you make kombucha out of, or that's what this one's made out of. But I'm gonna put it in this cute crystal glass I thrifted because it makes me feel very fancy. I will say, so I really like this kombucha. It does taste, because of the hops, it tastes like beer mixed with kombucha, and I actually really like it. I'm a fan. See, look how fancy that looks, and it's no alcohol. So I'm going to drink my fancy drink and make some stir fry. And then I need to do some editing. And then a bit more writing because I'm meeting with Autumn tonight. So I need to get a bit more writing done so that I actually know what to talk to her about. Because we're having a critique session. So, cheers. So we just did a critique session for about 2 hours, and we also ended up doing some sprints while we were doing that. So we got some writing done as well. I didn't really get any writing done. I'm having issues with my plot structure right now, which is what I've been trying to prepare before I jump into the second draft. But I'm running into issues with it and having a very difficult time figuring out how I want things to work out. I think a big part of it is that I've tried to write it as though it's going to be a trilogy. I think that's a mistake, and I was even told not to do this in my writing class. Like, we were told to write a standalone that has enough potential that it could be turned into a series, especially because my goal is to go through traditional publishing as of right now. It just doesn't really make sense for me to put so much pressure on myself to make all of the moving parts work for a 3-book series. So I've now at least decided in my brain that it would almost make more sense for it to be a duology, which I know I'm still writing with the purpose of having another book after. But I think that is helping a bit with the plot because it's kind of condensing some of the plot and shifting things. But now I need to restructure a little bit to make that actually work properly. This is the aftermath of that and just of me trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. It's now 11:15. I wanted to be in bed by 11, so I'm gonna go and brush my teeth and get ready for bed. And hopefully I can get up early tomorrow morning and start on it with a fresh mind. Because also today, like I mentioned, I was just basically living off of energy drink because I got up early, but I still went to bed late the night before. But I didn't want to go to sleep because I wanted to fix my sleep schedule. So I need to be in bed by 11. So that I can get up around 7 with a full night's sleep, and then I'll have a fresh mind and I can take a look at this and kind of sleep on it and see how I feel in the morning. So that's the plan. Hi, good morning. It's Sunday. I actually slept pretty well last night. I did kind of struggle getting to sleep, and I woke up multiple times and was wide awake, which kind of sucked, but I managed to get back to sleep both of those times. And then I managed to actually sleep until my alarm. So I got a little over 7 hours of sleep, which, you know what, I'll take it. I am now going to head out to a cafe. It's a very moody, kind of rainy day, which sounds like a wonderful time to go and do some writing at a cafe. I was also reading, which I need a bookmark for this. Normally, because I'm a terrible person, I would just fold the page that I'm on, but this is not my book. It is a library book. So I need a bookmark. But I had my breakfast already. I'm now reading this one, Pirates, the one that I was talking about. I'm really excited. So far, the introduction was kind of just talking about what the book's gonna cover, obviously, but then it actually threw in a couple stories of recent piracy. And I guess when I think recent, for some reason my brain is oh, early 1900s, you know? But there's literally stories in here that are from the late 90s and then 2005. I obviously don't actually know that much about piracy in the real world. I feel I kind of blame Hollywood a little bit for that. They really romanticize it when it's really not super romantic if you look into the actual history. So I've started reading that. It's very entertaining so far and super interesting. I was gonna go for a hike this morning, but I actually don't really feel like going and hiking in the rain, so I'm just gonna go to a cafe, get some more writing done, get some reading done, and yeah, we'll see where the day takes us from there. am so glad that my camera automatically like goes into sleep mode if I don't shut it off, because I regularly just like forget to switch it off. Happy Monday morning. So you may have seen yesterday, I created an entire spreadsheet focused around the Save the Cat beats. I have spent this entire weekend, multiple hours Saturday night, talking with Autumn about it, and just trying to like talk through things and figure things out. I spent pretty much the entire weekend thinking about this story and trying to figure out how to make the plot work. I think I mentioned it already, but I've come to the conclusion I need to not only stop acting like I'm writing a series, but I need to go back to the idea that I'm writing a standalone and not even really worry about whether or not it has series potential, because of the nature of what I'm writing and the amount of subplots I have, there's gonna be series potential, and I need, if there isn't, then I'll worry about that later. And also if there isn't, then I'll worry about that when I'm querying. The role that my goal of traditional publishing plays is a pretty big one, in that things are gonna change when I actually get agented and start to edit the book on their, like based on their requirements and what they're looking for. So I really need to, I just have some beliefs and some ideas in my head that are sticking, and that I need to unstick them. Writing multiple books in a series right off the bat is one of those ideas, as well as I'm just sticking to a lot of like the plot ideas that don't actually need to happen. Things can change. I can rewrite this whole book and it can look nothing like the original draft, and chances are that's what's gonna happen. So I basically spent the whole weekend just trying to sort through the plot, because what happens when you start to try and release the idea that it needs to be a series is all of those ideas that I had for further on in the series are now open and available for use in this first book, and I want to use some of those because it'll make this first book, this standalone book, stronger. And if you think about it, I have been lately clinging to ideas as though they're some precious thing, when I know myself and I know my brain and I have endless ideas. So really, if I take all of the ideas that I wanted to have in the second and third books and just pull them into the first book and sift through ideas that way, I'm still gonna have endless ideas for if this becomes a series. So I'm trying to remind myself of that and work through the plot with that in mind. So that's why we haven't really done that much writing this weekend in an actual draft, but we have done a ton of writing in the Save the Cat beat sheet that I made for myself, and just in outlining stuff. And we've done a lot of work on writing that isn't necessarily reflected in word count goals, which is why I have issues with word count goals in the first place, because so much of writing is not represented in a direct word count. So that's also why I have such a low goal for camp. I might flash the kind of beat sheet timeline that I made up on the screen. So I've started reading Save the Cat Writes a Novel, and I just needed a way to kind of organize my brain because it wasn't working writing it down. I couldn't write fast enough and it was unorganized. So I decided to pull up the wonderful, the lovely Excel. I love Excel. Excel is just like one of the most useful programs ever. So I basically made an entire timeline based on the beats in the beat sheet from Save the Cat. I set up the timeline in Excel. It's also to scale. Every 1% is represented by 15 pixels. I'm really happy with that. It looks really nice because it's like a to-scale timeline of what the story will look like. And then what I'm doing now is I'm going through and I am writing out each of those important beats for 5 different versions of this story. So I have an entire list of all of the ideas that were supposed to happen in the series, and I'm going through that. I'm keeping track of everything that I really want to be included, things that I want to happen just in case this book doesn't become a series, things that I think are important enough that I need them to happen. So then from that list of ideas that I want to include, I'm going through and I am writing out 5 different versions of what this book could look like and what the plot could look like, including the first version and how it currently looks. So basically for every single row, I'm writing out a different version of what's going to fit in each of those beats. I'm doing this just to let my mind run wild, which is something that it needs to do a lot and I don't allow it to do. And I'm also doing this so that I can start to kind of shake up the really cemented structure that I have in my brain for this story right now. Because like I mentioned, I am clinging to it far too tightly, and it's not necessary, and it's gonna become a stronger story if I can, you know, arrive a little faster at the idea that it doesn't need to stay exactly as I wrote it the first time. So that's what we're doing. I mentioned on my Patreon, which I would love for you to support me over there, our book club is underway. I've been posting more behind the scenes stuff, including this sheet if you want to kind of take a look at it. So check out my Patreon. It's a really great way to support me, and it helps me make more content because YouTube really doesn't pay a lot. So over on my Patreon, I mentioned that I might try and share this beat sheet if I'm able to do that. Like, I want to make it downloadable for you guys because I think it could be genuinely helpful, and I just think it looks pretty, so maybe it's an ego thing for myself, I don't know. But because it's based on Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which is a book that I did not write, I don't know if I can technically make it downloadable for you guys on Patreon because people have to pay for Patreon, so it feels like that's indirectly paying for the beat sheet, in which case I think that's illegal because I don't think I can sell it per se. So maybe I can share it on YouTube. I don't know, I just want it to be a resource for you guys. So I'm looking into that in case there's anyone else out there that really loves using Excel and likes the organization of having a timeline set up like this. But I'll keep you updated on how that goes. I'm gonna end off this vlog here so that it's more so a weekend vlog rather than getting into the week now. So I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that everyone's Camp NaNoWriMos are going well so far. I've seen some of your projects and I'm really excited about them. So I'm sending you all of the creative energy and motivation and good vibes that you need to continue working on your project this month. I hope that you enjoyed this video. As always, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.